Okay, welcome to the Miami International Autodrome circuit. We are using iRacing today, and I am driving a Formula Renault 2-liter. Didn't go with F125 for this one because right now we don't really know what's going to happen with the regulation tweaks. So I'm not going to know where they're harvesting, deploying, using extra downshifts to retrieve some more energy for the battery. So I decided to go with iRacing for this circuit. They've laser scanned it. It is 100% accurate. It's close, really close to what the drivers are going to be facing this weekend. And I decided to get reacquainted with an old friend of mine, which is the Renault 2-liter. This car is what I first drove in when I raced in and for the Renault Driver Development Program. Scary how similar this car feels compared to what the real thing actually feels like. So let's get it onto the track. I'll start it up. Cool. First gear, on the power. All right, down in the pit lane we go. I'm going to show you really quickly the curbing in some of these corners. So this is turn 3. If you take a look at the asphalt, the gray part, and then the white-orange curbing, you can see that the asphalt is flat. Then once you hit the curbing, it pops up a bit. So with the Formula car, it doesn't matter what type of a Formula car it is. If you hit this, you take too much of it, it's going to lift the car off the ground. You're going to lose all the suction. You're going to lose the grip, and you're probably going to spin and crash into the concrete wall. So you have to make sure how much of these curbs you're going to be using. And that's going to be something to pay attention to this weekend with these drivers in these cars. How much of the curbing are they looking at using? For some of the curbing around this track, you can't actually use a lot of it because it's just not actually there. It's just kind of painted on. So here we go. Downshift into 5th. Can use a little bit of this curbing here. No question about it. Back on the power. And you're going to go down into 3rd. Little bit of a brake. And squeeze the power back on. With the Renault 2-liter car, it never had a lot of torque, okay, but it did get up to speed quite well. But one of the things you always had to pay attention to was how you were applying the power when you were coming out of the corner. Yes, it didn't have a lot of torque, but with the slower speed corners, you still had to pay attention to how smooth you were with the gas pedal. So a little squirt of gas here, off the gas. Let the car roll into the corner, squeeze the power back on, up into 3rd, and we're gonna brake down into 2nd. Still on the brakes, off the brakes, a little bit of curb here. Avoid this curbing on the right, down into 1st. Avoid this curbing here on the left. Squeeze the power on, and we're getting right back up to speed. On this really long back straightaway, the drivers are gonna be deploying their energy here for sure. Probably avoiding super clipping as well. Probably avoiding, they'll probably hit super clipping later, but they won't be lifting and coasting. For this car, you're braking at the 150. The brakes aren't the greatest on the Renault car, the Renault 2-liters. Back on that power. They're not like carbon brakes. You can use a lot of this curbing here. Actually, you can pretty much use all of it. It's not really there. But you'll see the drivers going over top of that. Straight lining things as much as possible. Braking nice and early here with this car is, again, brakes. Avoiding the curbing. Squeezing on the power. Little lift. Back it on the power. Avoiding the curbing. Flat out. And we're coming up here and have a little brake, downshift, squeeze the power, little brake, little downshift, squeeze the power on, down into 4th, down into 3rd, using a little bit of the brake, squeezing the power on, all the way. And you can also see my telemetry down in the bottom left, gear change, steering angle, speed. But if you watch the bar graph, the green and red, you can see what my feet are doing. How consistent are they? Am I on-off things, which you never really want to be. Fully committed here on the brakes, coming off the brakes, squeezing on the power, coming off the power. rolling in, squeezing on that power, down into second. Flip the corner here, down, back on the power, down into first, and squeezing back on the power. Okay, so why I'm saying squeeze on the power, squeezing on the power, is because when you jam on the accelerator, you're asking for a lot of energy and power to be driven through those rear wheels. And with a race car, you kind of have to have things settled. So you do have to have some smooth driving inputs to make sure you're not upsetting the balance of the car. So you see with the F1 drivers, there's, a lot of them are aggressive, yes, with their feet. Some of them are really, really smooth. It's like almost, tap dancing, really. Down to second here, squeezing on the power, and then coming off, back on it. Flat out all through here. The F1 cars will be flat out through here as well. I really do like this. I love this car. I mean, it's nice to get reacquainted with it. It does feel a lot like the same. These sims are really incredible, and I've been working with a lot of young drivers, and the amount of information they're able to learn nowadays, how fast they're able to learn, is quite impressive, and a lot of it has to do with these sims. And just how accurate they are in getting up to speed with every car that they jump into. And that's what I notice the most when I do coach a lot of young drivers or work with a lot of young drivers. They are just on it so much faster, and that's a huge difference from when I was driving. We never got sims to test out tracks and stuff like that. You got there and you figured it out by the seat of your pants. But these drivers are showing up now just so well prepared. It's incredible because of these sims. And I think the sims are for me, it's good because it kind of scratches that itch. I love racing. I miss it. I miss driving. I miss racing. I still can. It just comes down to, money. And I find that it is so realistic that it builds my confidence, like, I still got it, I can still do it, kind of thing. As I miss the Apex. But yeah, no, I really enjoy the simulator for sure. And I get a lot out of it, no question about it. They have Formula Fords on here as well. And the Formula Fords that are on here are just, again, like the Formula Fords that I used to race. It's crazy just how realistic these sims are. And iRacing does such a good job of simulating everything as well. I know there's other programs out there that I want to try and get into when I have a little more time. But yeah, that's a little tour around the Miami F1 circuit. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to try and get a qualifying podcast to you as soon as I can following quali on the Saturday. Could be a little tight because my Saturday's going to be really busy. I'm going to be here working at the Miami Grand Prix. But I'll do my best to get you something. But until then, enjoy the weekend, enjoy the racing, and we'll talk to y'all later. Hey, you there. Did you like that video? Would you like to see more? If you like what Nailing the Apex has to offer, you should check out more of our content and subscribe to our Nailing the Apex channel by clicking the subscribe button.